course you did.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of Unstoppable. I have the love of my life joining with us.
Howdy, y'all.
He's eating pizza right now.
Beer.
So he just wanted to make me talk.
I just got off work.
So we have a lot to talk about. That does look delicious, by the way.
You have a lot to talk about.
No, we have a lot to talk about.
All right, proceed, doctor.
Husband. First of all, I want to tell everybody some exciting news. We just released our third book that you can find on Amazon. Of course, the cover is all about my Stucco, my sweet, beautiful mascot, who is also my service dog. And
You
it's
said that like terms of endearment.
I love that boy. That's my boy. That's my boy. And it is an activity book. So much fun for kids. It teaches them their alphabet, but in between each letter, it has fun, cool things to do, finding Stucco's bones through the maze, finding his friends' names and word searches. It's so, so cute. And it'd be great even in doctors' offices so that they can give it to their patients for something to do while they wait. What are you looking for?
The book, what's it called again?
A Contagious Smiles Stucco activity book. And all the proceeds go to our puppy program.
They get it through our website?
Not yet. Like, I have nothing to do. Like, I really have nothing to do. Seriously, I just produced our third book. Like, we don't even want to go over this list. I just really produced the fourth because if you guys go into the self-media discovery with Sarah Troy, who I love, you will see that this holiday, she will be releasing the Forgotten Children series, which I just finished writing a chapter book for that will be in there. And it's so adorable and cute and sweet. And I rewrote it after you red penned it. My husband, who redneck language over here, red penned my first story, which was about a very sweet little boy named Alex. And I rewrote it. Alex is still our main character, who I dedicated to my very dear friend Debbie, who her son was named Alex and he passed away. So that's where I got the basis of the character from. And Alex is growing up in a town called Barkville. Isn't that cute?
I'm your greatest critique.
You're my greatest something. Anyway, so that's out. Go to Amazon, check out all three books that are there for right now. And I have to tell you, I'm sorry, we're just going to have to go on like a side note here for a second. So my husband, who I'm so super proud of, goes into Wendy's today and is in line behind someone who he's going to have to tell a story because he was there. But I'll tell you what, I wish I was there. I'll tell you, because my biscuits are burning, even just hearing this.
So the boy, and I say the boy because I'm 49 and he was, I'd say in the age of 22, 23, but a tall lad. He orders a banana frosty. And I can hear his back is to me. I can hear that his speech is quite different. Without seeing his facial features and, really listening to him, I could tell that, he's in the spectrum of the special needs. And the cashier says, "Sir, we only have vanilla and chocolate.
Strawberry and chocolate.
And the young man says that he's never tasted chocolate frosty before, to which the cashier kind of smirks and excuses himself.
Did he say excuse me?
No. Excuses himself from the cashier, goes over to his 300-pound manager and sort of whispers to her, but turns looking at him, the comment that the boy made. And the manager blatantly says out loud, he's never tasted a chocolate frosty, and starts laughing. And the cashier at the window, the drive-through window, starts laughing also. Well, of course, this gets the attention of the rest of the crew, which are now all looking at this young man, and he's still standing there. So the cashier comes back and says, again, we only have strawberry and chocolate. So the young man orders a chocolate frosty and then proceeds to go outside. Being with my awesome sauce wife, as long as I have, I've come to recognize certain things that, you know, she's already a parent to in the special needs community. When you have an autistic child, you can pretty much tell to some degree. You know, I know, you know, there's different degrees of autism.
It's a whole different spectrum from one extreme to another.
But you know, after being with my wife, I could tell this child was special needs. And
I don't care if they weren't special needs. Let me just put that out there first, not to interrupt you. I don't care if they're special needs or not. You don't humiliate somebody, period. I mean,
it was very degrading, very humiliating.
Okay, but you don't do it regardless. But then to be someone who, you know what, I applaud him. He went in there, he ordered on his own, which you have no idea how challenging that could have been for him.
Exactly. He was by himself. He was walking.
Good for him.
You know, so
I'd have bought it for him if I was there.
Well, because he already bought it, and he never tried it, I was going to do the same thing. We think alike,
of course.
But I got my frosty because I didn't want him to spit in it because I knew what I was going to say, and I allowed the young man to leave the store and go outside and enjoy his never tasted before chocolate frosty. And I asked the heavyset manager her name, and I said, "What is the young man's name behind you? Why?" "Well, I'm just curious," and this is what I told the manager, "why you laughed at a autistic child asking or stating that he's never tasted a chocolate frosty before." To which an argument ensued between myself, the manager, and the young man behind the counter. The window girl never said anything. So it was very humiliating, you know, for that woman to speak up in front of her whole crew like she did. And when she questioned me, who am I to question her and her judgment? I said, "Well, ma'am, my wife and I, we advocate for special needs families." And then she starts berating me that I'm judging her for not knowing that he's special needs when it was very obvious, you know, the mannerisms, the speech. So, you know, ignorance is not bliss in this case. And to me, she had no leg to stand on.
So what happened after that?
Well, of course, I went outside, got on the phone.
Well, he told the employee to shut up, right?
No, when I asked the young man name behind the cashier, he told me to shut up. And so
he told you to shut up.
He told me to shut up twice when I asked him his name. I said, "Excuse me, shut up. Excuse me, shut up. Your name is what? Shut up." So
be quiet was obviously taken.
I'll be talking to corporate.
Isn't that something you want me to do?
No.
Yes, it is.
No.
Yeah,
I got this pit bull.
I know, but
intermission for a bite of pizza.
But you know what? The way you would handle it and the way I will handle it are totally different. I'm just saying. First of all, the woman didn't even want to give you her name. So we'll call her ignorant. And second of all, tomorrow, here, I'll negotiate with you. You can call corporate. Tomorrow, I get to call the store and talk to the store manager.
Okay. Easy.
Was she the store manager? I highly doubt it. She's probably shift manager. Lovely. So you will give me the exact location of which one this was. It probably has like 1 star.
Yes, ma'am.
It'll probably have like 1 star on reviews.
1.4.
See? And the name of this ignorant person, I say that lightly, and then I will call tomorrow, because when you just kind of like, you know, I can be the biggest pit bull ever, especially when I advise them that who we are, what we do, our following, fact we did a podcast, the fact we put it on a podcast, and the fact that, you know, the whole ADA for the Disability Act is something that, see, when you do something like that, it totally just, my mind. All over my office, our office, on my side are pictures of Faith and my grandparents with me, and little sweet notes that my husband writes me all the time, and then pictures of us. Out of nowhere, my husband just blew a kiss or gave a kiss to my grandmother, and so that just totally went. Thanks a lot, buddy.
You were speaking of
ADA. So yeah, that's absolutely not okay. You know, and I'll be happy to tell them that I will come in there and do a podcast live in their establishment.
It's not, because she just declared in front of 4 to 5 employees that it's okay to make fun of special needs people.
Well,
that's okay.
I'm special needs.
If you came in with your one arm missing, they probably would have said something. You know,
what if I wore my claw? Just saying. I'm only saying, because if I tried to pick up a Frosty, I might, you know, everywhere.
I'm not judging all the individuals there. I'm not even judging the lady. Her actions spoke for everything she did, the way she is, the way she thinks. She declared how she is by laughing out loud the way she did and making that sorry ass comment about that young man.
That's horrible.
It is horrible. You know, had the parents been there, I guarantee you probably still would have happened. And I would have got the parents' name and everything and went to bat for them. But I did not want to embarrass the young man, so I allowed him to go outside during this confrontation with the
ignorant
heavy set manager.
Because she's heavy set, that had anything to do with it.
No,
she's just ignorant. And you know what? By the small chance of God that he listens to our podcast, which we don't know if he does or not, kudos to you for being able, and kudos to everybody who has the ability to go in there to an establishment by themselves. You don't know how long it takes to do that. Like, you know, think about how long it took me after my amputation to even want to go anywhere because I was too embarrassed, you know, or how long it would take to get up and get the nerve to go to the store or go to the counter and order something. You know, that could have been a very big, proud moment for him that just got put into the crapper because of some ignorant beep. That's all I'm going to say.
So let me ask you, Victoria, when you go out to the grocery store,
I'm stared at,
that you've been to for the past 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
All right. They knew you by your description. You and Faith, y'all are famous in there. And then you start coming in with one less body part.
Mm-hmm.
And you get all these stares.
I get stares from the customers.
Right. But I'm sure other customers have seen you in there. Yeah, it's a small town.
Okay. Yeah.
So how does that make you feel going out? Do you want to go out? Is there apprehension? You know you have to because you feed your family, you take care of your family. But yeah, I understand. You know, there's some apprehension probably from that young man.
Right.
If I go out in public, people are going to make fun of me.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's hard because, you know, especially one of the things, and, you know, I've learned from medical teams that that individual will just say, his name is Joey Bag of Donuts. It could have, to him, going out there and doing what he did could be conquering a fear that some people have of like speaking in front of hundreds of people. That could have been him conquering his fear. Walk up to a counter by yourself, order something and pay for it all on your own. That could have been a huge fear he had just overcame. Could have been his very first time. It could have been his 51st time. You don't know. And then this gets shot down. I mean, the first time I've spoken to a group of people where I showed my amputation was on Zoom, and there were hundreds of people on it. And before that, I always hid it. Not only for comfort, but I hid it because of the looks that I get. I mean, you know, I used to wear my hair pulled back, and then people would see what they identified as my Frankenstein scars on both sides of my neck that go all the way down on both sides. And I would get stared at for that. And then, oh, she has hearing aids, so let's stare at her for that. And let's stare at her for this and that. And that's what I was like stared at all the time, is this like scarred up person And it is embarrassing. I'm set to be a speaker next year for a very large speaking engagement, and it'll be the first time, maybe not, I'm hoping not, that I'll go on stage, and I am nervous because you don't know the perception of people staring at you. Are they really listening to what I'm trying to say, or are they staring at me with the what if, what happened, what is she doing, why, whatever. I mean, I had so many people say to me, well, you have black belts in martial arts. How did you get into a relationship that became violent? I get that a lot too. But you know what? The very first thing you're taught in martial arts is to de-escalate the situation. It's for self-defense. And I tell people all the time that
No different than law enforcement. You de-escalate.
right. But
You don't
then
go when guns blazing.
right. But when you think you can de-escalate it, and then somebody climbs on top of you while you're asleep and beats your face in to get you to wake up and go get you some water, you realize that de-escalation is not going to be something as simple as you think it is. And I openly admit that I made a deal that if he didn't punch or kick or hurt my stomach, that I would not fight back while pregnant. It was a whole different game changer once I gave birth.
But during that time, you're planning an escape. You were looking for a way out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't honestly think that my surviving would have been without Faith, without you, which I'll explain in a second, and without my martial art training, because one of the things that even the judge said was that he trained me as a fighter, because if I ever cried or made a sound, he'd hit me again. But a lot of time I would put my mind into that mindset of when you would be sparring, because you have to do your kicks and your punches and you get them given back to you when you're sparring. So you just kind of put it in your mind that you've got to get through this. And that's, I don't think I would have survived that. And not only that, but, I knew back before I ever got with this piece of shit that my husband here was my soulmate, and I knew it. And I honest to God knew it. My heart was broken, and I rebounded the only flipping time in my entire life with this absolute piece of shit. And he rushed me down the express lane, as narcissistic, characteristic, charismatic assholes do. And there you go. And I would go to bed and try to emulate the feeling that my husband does now. It's G-rated, where he would run his hand down my face, and I couldn't get that sensation that it came from when he did it. And I kept saying, if I don't fight my way out of this, I'd never see him again. And I always knew we would be back together. And I told Faith from day one, the only person I would ever let be a man, father figure for her, is Michael. And that's never changed. And now she has this wonderful human being as her dad. Not stepdad. Oh boy, will she correct you fast and furious, but her dad. He's chewing. He's used to having a lot of stuff in his mouth. That came for Faith. I thought maybe Faith would want to put a zinger in for you.
So let me ask y'all, have y'all been in a similar situation where you have stood up for someone who has a disability, a special need condition? Let us hear from you. Write to us. We have multiple means to get into contact with us. We're still waiting on a few stragglers out there for the
puppy contest.
Puppy giveaway. Yeah. Not really contest.
It's not really a contest.
We're just giving away some puppies, and we're looking for a few more.
Now, we can't do it without
stories.
The donations from people like you, because we've been funding this out of our own pocket from day one, and it is expensive. It's about $3,000 a month for us, because we don't cut corners with the pups. We make sure they have good food. And of course, my husband laughs at me because I give them cooling blankets. They get lots of toys. They get lots of snacks and good food and loving and cuddling. They have a swimming pool that they go out and play in. Just they're treated like they're our kids, because they really are. Why are you looking at my amputation like that?
But we definitely don't do this for the money, y'all.
We can't do it for the money because we're spending more and we're not taking any
We're
in.
just trying to give back just a little what, we've been blessed with.
And so we are giving away 3 gorgeous pups. They're just the sweetest things ever. And they're so cute and snuggly and cuddly. I don't care what kind of day you're having, but when you hold one of those, that's it. I had someone once I was in a conversation with, and they said, oh my God, it was the worst day ever. I got cut off on the way to work. I got cut off on the way to get my kids at school. I got cut off on this. And, I didn't get my work done in time today. And I didn't get this. And my maid called out and blah, 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 blah. Well, you know what? Kudos to you for having that life. And I said to her, this was years and years and years ago. I said, you know what? I got up this morning after 4 hours of sleep. I changed my daughter's feeding, who was on a continuous feeding through a feeding tube in her stomach. I had to make sure that that was good. The stoma was clean. Had to make sure that the formula was prepared right and that there was no air in the lines. Then I had to go and sanitize everything as well, get her up, homeschool her, do everything that she needs. We had 15 appointments that week, which was a really slow week for us because we normally have about 20, 25. You're talking about parking for every single one, which is individual paid because they're not all in the same building. Then you have to go home and implement each and every one of the therapies that you've already learned so that you can keep it going. And then it took her at that point an hour to eat 4 ounces, an hour. And I would sit there 3 times a day plus snacks waiting because I knew she could do it. And if she took 1 bite today, it was 1 more than she took the day before. So when I looked at her, I was like, so I'm really sorry someone cut you off. And then what did they say? I mean, think about it. People need to take life into their heart and out of their head because life is too short not to be happy, not to embrace. And you know what? I want you to find me someone that is a kid with special needs and tell me that they are not the happiest kids you've ever met. When we did the Make-A-Wish trip, every kid was so cute and so sweet. At that time, my hair was down to my thighs and I may have red hair. So this beautiful, beautiful little 3-year-old told me that she wanted red hair. And one of the things that they do on the Make-A-Wish trip is that they make sure you have a Christmas and a Halloween and all that. So the kids have to dress up as their favorite things. And so she said, I can't pronounce what I have, but I'm the thing fighting what's killing me. And it was the cutest, sweetest thing ever. And where we were had a spa for the kids where we couldn't tell them no. So the kids would go in. I would have loved that with you if you had been there. And Faith said, Dad, you have to get a tattoo on your nose or your face. You had to get it. And they would do their nails and their hair. And it was so cute. So I walked in there with her and Faith and her mom, and her dad had left because of their daughter being sick. He just up and left because he was a piece of crap. And he couldn't handle it. And so this, excuse me, this mom and I became kind of chummy. And so I walked in there with her, and Faith was getting her nails done and they were getting ready for Halloween. And Faith was the princess of life, I think is what she called herself. And the mom looks over at me and I told her, I said, you are so beautiful. And she just had the baldest head and she loved it. And she just got really upset and her eyes filled with tears. And she said, I still want to be a redhead. So I walk over, I get a pair of scissors and I hand them to her. And she goes, what are you doing? I said, cut my hair. And the mom's like, no, 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 don't give her the scissors. Don't give her the scissors. And I was like, it's okay. And she goes, cut my hair. And so Faith looks over at me, who also has red hair. And she goes, it's okay. My mom's serious. And we thought maybe she cut like, mid back or whatever. Oh, no, 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 no. This beautiful little angel cut like above the ear and just, and then there's like 4.5 feet of hair on the floor. I said nothing. A few mouths dropped wide open. And I said, I want to do whatever I need to do to make her a wig. And so they did. And I said, whatever hair's left over, I want only given for kids. No offense to the adults, but, and I said, I want this given to the kids. I stayed in touch with the mom and the little girl passed 3 months later, but she was so cute. And I told her, I said, I can't believe how well you wear that. Cause she said that she was a fox with her red hair, which was so, so cute. So when people, who are blessed not to have a special needs situation, you know what? You're taking your life for granted. And when you see these beautiful children who have such a huge heart and all they want to do is help others, you really need to like step back and reevaluate your life and how you treat other people. I'm going to get something to drink while I'm sitting here with you because now I'm getting choked up. So I'm putting it back to my husband.
I used to wake up and sit on the end of the bed and stretch my back and moan and groan like an old man. And then when I stood up, my knees would pop and I was like, oh, yeah, it's time to make the donuts. But
there's pollen in here.
He's
crying.
No.
Yes, he is.
I started sitting on the end of the bed and looking over at my wife. And there she is with one arm and one arm missing. I'm thinking, what the hell do I have to complain about? Yeah, let that sink in, y'all.
Do you know, I can't believe it, but in 2 days is the 1 year anniversary of my amputation.
Yeah. That's right. And you have adjusted and come a long way, a lot further than the doctors expected you should.
I've never done a day of physical therapy.
Which, I could argue with that, folks.
Have I been to physical therapy?
Go to your therapy.
Okay, but have I been?
You have not. Stubborn ass.
And go ahead, so it doesn't come from me, about what I have not taken ever.
Pills.
What?
Pills?
After any surgery. What kind of
barbiturates?
What kind of pills?
Opioids? Why do you laugh?
Because it's so cute when you talk like this.
Opioids.
I was in a network meeting earlier and I was telling them that my craniofacial doctor is Australian. And I said, I always go in there because my friend is Australian who's in there. And I said, I always go in there and say, good day, mate. And she goes, you do sound British. And I said, no. And she says, tell him that you're from South Australia and you might get away with that. And so anyway, but I've never taken a single pain med after any surgery ever. And the amputation was brutal. I mean, absolutely brutal. And it still is. I have CRPS type 2, which is non fixable, I don't know what you want to call it. It's permanent. There's no cure for it. There's nothing. It sucks. 4 implanted devices, 2 permanent, 2 temporary, over a dozen nerve blocks in the neck to try for pain relief, and none of it works. So no, I've never done any pain meds, but at the end of the day, when I look at like our daughter and I see all that she's overcome, who are we to complain about anything? I mean, seriously, we have no right to complain.
Excuse me.
No pollen.
Drinking my beer. That reminds me of Victoria. I love to call you that. I spoke with a customer today who remembered me from almost a year ago and asked me about your decision. Have we made a decision yet about your hand?
That had to be over a year ago then.
Correct.
Right.
And I was flabbergasted that, she remembered me like that.
Well, you're hot.
And then she tells me 3 weeks prior that her husband died. And here she is asking about my wife. What a compassionate heart. And, of course, I talked to her about her husband for a bit and, how he sat out with me. And while I worked, he jaw jacked with me the entire hour that I was there, probably an hour and a half, because I can jaw jack with the old men. We just get along. But it was very touching, and that just goes to show, folks, you don't know when your time is up. Get your paperwork in order and don't leave the hard decisions to your survivors, to your kids.
It's so hard.
I would not want to be in a position to where I had to make a choice. Okay, Michael, your wife's a vegetable. Do you pull the plug or do you not pull the plug? What do you think your wife would want? What do you want? If there was nothing on paper, well, shit. Maybe tomorrow there'll be a medical advancement that will snap her out of a coma.
You would reach into my body and be like, you know how long it's been? You better get back here.
So, folks, if you need help, reach out to Victoria.
I have written some serious living wills and power of attorneys recently. Like I've been on it doing it. Yeah.
All that.
And I'm methodical. I write out almost every possible scenario so that you don't have to have that burden on your family, because I mean, hope to God you never need it. But like, even when Faith was little, it wasn't a thought you had to decide on, but they came and said, you know, she's coding every day. She has seizures every day. She's getting brain damage. So we need to trach her. And when you watch your own child go blue, yet alone gray, it's a heart-wrenching decision, not one it takes more than a second to make, because of course you're going to do what's best for your child. But those are still decisions that you could have to make on your husband or your wife or your partner. And at least you sit down and have a conversation with them and decide what course of action that is wanted, because take that burden. If you love the people in your life, take that burden off of them, because it's hard enough.
That's right. In this instance, the wife told me that when hospice came, they had already had all their paperwork in order, and the nurses came out and told the wife, "We have never met a patient as ready to go as this man is. He is ready to go to the other side. He is ready. He is so excited about dying. He just can't wait, because he is tired of living in pain in this life, and he knows where he's going, and he's ready." So, you know, that's a different outlook. I mean, that's a great outlook for me.
So what if I said to you, I've been in pain every single day of my life for the last 18 years. And if I said I was ready, you'd be
not ready.
What if I said I was?
I won't let you.
Why?
Because I'm stubborn.
But you just said, what a great way. I mean,
well,
pot.
He was in his upper 80s.
Okay.
Okay.
So now what do you got?
He's lived a good life, according to him. In his mind, he was ready to go.
Okay, so, but that's my mind. How are you going to tell me what's in my mind?
From walking on a walker to bedridden fully.
I went from being able to clap and have my master's in signing and being able to break concrete and boards and stuff to this. I am Captain Hook's sister.
You were slightly limited.
But you can't tell me how I would feel.
And you're an overachiever.
Ugh.
Doctor.
Here we go. You wouldn't let me go?
No, we're not done yet.
Oh,
87 more years.
87 more years. Well, you're running out of time, because no, you didn't even know what I was going to say. Every year we get remarried before our first original anniversary, so that we stay newlyweds. Well,
you can't do that.
This one, we've been doing it, and now all of a sudden it's running out, and Mr. Slick here, who can't remember our original anniversary, has it on the wall and still can't remember it. You're running out of time. And
it's somewhere around here.
And we get new rings every year, and you haven't even picked them out yet.
I'll get to it.
By when? The time I get my shelves? October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and I am going to make October huge. If you are one of my survivor, thriver brothers or sisters, and you want to tell your story and give that one little tidbit that can save another, please let me know. I'd love to have you come on. I have yet to release all of my little things that I will be doing for October, but it's going to be huge. I don't do video for survivors of violence. And I also will change their name if they want. And I also do not disclose geographic location. So, and if you come on and we talk, and then you say, you know what, Victoria, I'm really too scared to put it out there, I'll scrap it. I don't care. It's about healing. It's about understanding, empathizing, and being there for support. And that's what A Contagious Smile is about. So go out there and y'all check out the new book that Victoria spent, 5-10 minutes on. That's That's not right. And we did see once it's been printed that Amazon did an on the printing.
Yeah, don't
And
judge us.
don't judge us, because if anybody's published, they know that Amazon goes through it with a fine tooth comb. Even like your margin is 1.1 centimeter, whatever, off on the right. Like it is so meticulous. And then they finally came back and said everything was great. And when I approved it, there was no issue. And now there is. So I've got to like see what I can do.
So yes, please check out that new activity book. Victoria has also written her memoirs, Who Kicked First.
I knew it was coming. I knew you were going to do this.
Also on Amazon. It's I would say it's a horror story. It's not for the faint of heart. I have not yet read it.
Nor will you.
I'm not allowed.
See, men can be tough.
But if you think you're tough, then check out her book by Victoria Coura, Who Kicked First. Also, check out my daughter's book.
I knew it. I knew you were going to do this.
I love it.
You just light up.
Her book is called I Am Kitten, Dad's Girl.
Apostrophe S.
Can I finish?
I don't know. Can you?
I Am Kitten, Dad's Girl, and Dang Proud of It by Faith Coura Solomon.
Well, here's a little tidbit of news that I'm going to do. It's breaking news.
Oh, Lord.
Right here, right now, just
Have
for
at it,
you. Faith informed me that she's working on another book all about mom.
Seriously?
Yep.
Oh, Lord.
So
I've yet to jump in the book writing bandwagon.
we all need good comics.
We're thinking about it.
We should write our love story.
No.
Why?
There's no love story.
There's no love story.
Got
My
your
grandparents are going to come down here in a minute. You got your back to her. You better be careful. We don't have a love story.
We do. It's ongoing. What else?
You are in TROUBLE.
There's some merchandise on our website, and also
how does it happen?
Through was it Temu?
T.
This
isn't your ex. T Public.
T Public. That's correct.
And then you put in a contagious smile. We have all sorts of cute, adorable stuff, from cell phone cases to t-shirts to baby onesies to pillows, magnets and stickers. There's a plethora of different designs, including one of Stucco and myself, a couple of them that show my amputation, some of my husband and I. There's all sorts of ones. There's Teen Talk, some of just Stucco podcasting. There's some really cute stuff, and we got more coming as soon as I can create them.
If you had a similar story, like I mentioned earlier, that with the special needs community that you stood up for, please write us and let us know. I'd like to hear it. And for those of y'all who are amputees and who have overcome this fear, this phobia of going out in public and being judged by others or being stared at or looked upon, also write me and let me know about your courage and how you overcame it.
Hey, I want to hear the funny stories because, I know I've told the story where I had that really nasty woman.
Like where you throw the
prosthetic? No, it's decorating my dresser. But I'm talking about when I went to the grocery store and those two teenage guys are with their mom, and she's like, great, you go behind the slow one-armed one. And, she said, she was just POS, and then nobody offered to help me lift anything, which was fine. But they're back there. Ugh. And I'm not slower than anybody else. The lady hadn't even gotten my stuff yet. She's still ringing up the person in front of me, but she just kept making all the noises. And, normally I would have been like, hey, is there something I can answer for you? Because obviously you're staring at me for a reason. But maybe I did slip. And, if there's funny stories, I'd love to hear them. Maybe I did slip. This was shortly after the amputation. I was incredibly self-conscious. And she literally kept looking me up and down like I was the biggest piece of trash to walk into a store and that I had no business being there. So I may have said to her that, her cheery disposition and personality obviously told me that she was single and that this was partially done due to abuse. And I'm sure by now he's single and they would make a great match. And then I felt horrible after I said that. But, hey, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs. I have to have an outlet somewhere. My husband has this shit-eating grin across his face right now.
I know you.
You know me what? I wasn't as horrible as I could have been. That will be tomorrow at Wendy's.
To be here on the phone.
I might go visit.
You're not going up yonder.
Oh, I might.
No.
Don't test me.
Negative.
Oh, yeah. If Faith found out, oh, yeah, we would. Oh, yeah, we would. We might go in there with a mic in our hand. Say, we're going live.
Conversation and played some of it.
They don't know if you didn't.
It would have been hilarious. So thank y'all for listening.
Ding.
Michael, you've had too many beers.
You had one.
Thank you for listening to A Contagious Smile, Unstoppable Justice with your lovely host,
Michael.
You're such a dork.
That's mean. I have feelings, you know.
I have one too.
Yeah.
Just one.
You're not right. You're not right.
Victoria and her redneck husband, Michael.
My hot yet not available redneck husband,
Y'all
Michael.
reach out to us. Let us hear from you. Thank you for the followers. I think we're in the area of 40 plus million.
Yeah.
Somewhere in that neck of the woods. We'll have to do a recount and see.
I think it's higher, but I don't want to be like obnoxious and brag about whatever that is. It's, you know.
No, thank you. You know, lots going on in other parts of the country that, you know, we stay oblivious to because we don't want to see it. We don't open our eyes. But, you know, a lot of people are trying to do similar, you know, objectives that we have. So thank y'all for listening and for sharing. Keep following us. We're on
Everything.
29 different platforms. So
More
get
than
on
that
there and you know, like, follow, share, and whatever.
And tell them about the cute one. The new video I just did tonight. It was so cute.
With Will Smith.
Yes, could you?
That's hilarious.
Oh, it's Will Smith.
Y'all go on was Facebook?
I'll put it on TikTok and Instagram probably tomorrow. Yeah. It's so cute.
It's hilarious.
It's so cute. I want to try.
It's real short and sweet, but it's pretty cute.
It's like 11 seconds.
Yeah. And Will, if you're listening,
come on the show.
Yeah. Please.
I would love to have Will Smith come on. I would say almost as much as James Spader, but I also we're working on that. I would love to have Johnny Depp, man. I have so much respect for that man after the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial. I called it right as I had it on in the background while I'm working. And even when I would go back later and watch the videos, you could tell he couldn't look at her. I mean, men get abused too. Absolutely get abused. And then there's audio of her goes, "Oh, you big P word. I didn't punch you. I hit you. You know, grow up, Johnny." And it's like, you know, I mean, he is the nicest everywhere you ever see anything. He goes to kids' hospitals. He's my brother. So Johnny Depp, you're my brother. You're my Captain Hook brother. Because I'm Captain Hook's sister, he needs to come on my show. It would be the one during the day. You wouldn't have to go on that one.
Easy greasy.
I'm just saying, you don't have to go on that one. You're welcome to. That one would be video.
I love you, babe.
He's not even in my top 10. I don't even have a top 10. I have like a top 3.
Thank y'all for listening. Stay tuned for more. Thank y'all. Bye.